Hi, my name is Alden Picard with North Carolina Wildlife Federation.
And I'm Vicki Aguilar with the City of Charlotte Landscape Management Division.
And today we're going to show you folks how to properly plant a tree, because if you're not careful, you plant it too deep or mulch incorrectly, you can actually kill the tree.
The best rule of thumb is that you want the flare, the root flare, which is right at the base of the trunk of the tree where it kind of starts turning into roots. You want that to be at the grade of like wherever you're planting.
And lay a shovel from side to side, and you can see this is the level of the ground, and our flare is right at the shovel level, not too deep. If it was below like this, that would be too deep.
You want to dig your hole about twice as wide as the width of the root ball. Because you want to loosen up the soil around it, because that's where the roots are going to grow first. They're going to grow straight out.
So once you have the proper width and the proper depth, and you take your tree out of the container, many plants grown in the containers have become root bound. The roots would just continue to grow around, circling and suffocating the tree. So what you want to do is tickle the roots. You're essentially pruning the roots, and by pruning the roots before you plant in the fall, it encourages them to start growing out instead of continuing to go around. So from here we're going to fill in. We're going to fill the soil, backfill into the hole. And this is extremely important to have a partner, if you can, so they can keep it straight up and down so you don't plant a tree sideways. So right. Vicki, if you once you have your tree in, see it's right at grade or slightly above, so we're not burying the trunk flare and we're not going to suffocate the tree. It's time to do the mulching.
So you don't really even want the mulch hardly touching that trunk, the bark of the tree. You just want to just go right up to it. What you're trying to do is add mulch around the active growing roots of the tree, because it's adding organic material and it's keeping moisture in the soil.
Yeah, they say you want to make a donut, not a volcano.
Yep.
Or a ring. And how deep do you want the mulch, Vicki?
About 3 inches, I think, is a pretty good depth.
Yeah, so you want 3 or 4 inches around, but again, leaving that trunk flare or that root flare, that collar exposed. And what the mulch is going to do is retain moisture in the soil, so to help the tree with water stress. It's going to prevent and suppress weeds. And here at a public space like this, it's also going to protect it from mowers and string trimmers. And I guess the general rule of thumb is to mulch as far as the branches, but on young trees, you're not going to use as much mulch as you would on a more mature tree.
Right. One more thing to mention is you don't really want anything to stay tied around the tree. So I'm going to go ahead and take this label off. This is the nursery label. That just says what kind of species it is, but sometimes you'll buy trees that have like little stakes with the tape around it. You want to take anything like that off.
All right, and last steps after the tree's mulched and planted properly is to water the tree in. And Vicki, about how much water does a tree this size need?
A good rule of thumb is about 5 gallons per inch caliper. So that's probably about the size of this tree. It might be a little bit smaller than that. So it depends on the size of the tree, but that's just kind of a rule of thumb. 5 gallons per week is good.
Yeah, and then lastly, I'll say that when you plant a tree, it'll first kind of sleep. it's not gonna grow much. It's gonna get established underground. Then in year 2 or 3, it might start creeping. You get some more growth, and then by year 3 or 4, it might really start to leap and grow in height and grow in width and grow more shoots. So just be patient. You didn't kill your tree. It just takes time.